Big things happening at Borrowed Time. What do I mean by that? Cam's tattooing. Man, the apprenticeship sometimes sucks, especially at the end. In the beginning, it's great. Like, you know, you come in, you ask for an apprenticeship, they say yes, you're like, I made it. I got a career. And then a couple months go by and you're like, I'm gonna quit, right? Especially at the end, you know, you've been here 6-7 months, you're like, when is this gonna happen? And then you finally get to it, right? So Cam is 3 tattoos in. I mean, how do you feel so far, like making it to the part where you're actually tattooing?
I feel pretty good. I was really excited to tattoo, and I still am. But yeah, I feel good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there like the relief that comes with kind of like being at that part?
Yeah, definitely relief and kind of just getting over that step of, you know, interacting with a client and doing everything for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we put a lot of focus on like learning all the things outside of the actual tattooing. Does that feel like beneficial? Are you happy that like, because I remember I would tell you like, yo, let's practice interacting with client, let's practice setup, breakdown, aftercare. So all these things become like second nature, so you can just focus on the actual tattoo. Do you see benefit to that, or do you think that it's all kind of chaotic either way?
No, definitely not chaotic. I think it's good to have everything lined up beforehand, like we were doing, so it's way more comfortable, and you can kind of get down to like what's important, you know, during that session.
Yeah. So first tattoo, walk me through first tattoo.
First tattoo was homegirl, and she came in, she was super chill, and then I set up like normal, sized the stencil, and so she was cool with that size. I placed it right above her knee on the side. Mm-hmm. And then we got to it, but that was like, I don't know, I think kind of a more difficult spot than I thought it was gonna be.
Skin-wise?
Skin-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just trying to come at it for the first time was definitely, I just felt shaky. Like, and I also, as soon as I turned on the machine and I was like about to start, like I started.
Your heart was going?
Yeah, my heart was going.
That shit's fun though, because that goes away.
Yeah.
That goes away, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think it was just kind of, I didn't know how skin felt at all, so it was like something new. A lot of new
You never
things.
Touched a woman.
You know, partially that.
I get it, yeah. How'd it feel?
Felt great.
Nice.
No. It threw me off.
Well, it's different from fake skin, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not like the biggest, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
On fake skin.
But like, you know, going back to like what you said about the fake skin a few months ago, it's like I definitely see what you're talking about then.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's something that maybe didn't make sense, now makes sense.
Yeah.
So how did the first one come out?
I think decent for my first tattoo, but like if I'm being honest, I mean, I would give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, it was trash, but it's supposed to be. I want you to make all the mistakes now. Like you've been doing, like with the clients, you bring the homies in and you're like, listen, hopefully we're friends at the end of this, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever, and like other artists are here and we can help fix it and whatever. Ideally you do them small, you know, in case they're not the best. I think there was a lot of progress on your third tattoo. That's what I want to be going over today. I think there were a lot of lessons in this third one. You know, we have some line work, silhouettes, fill. What would you say, if you had to give 3 major lessons or big topics in this last tattoo you did, what would you say were the factors to success for you?
Definitely focusing on having different needle sizes.
Okay.
Tapering my lines off, like coming in and going out of them. I compartmentalized basically how I was going to go for packing in the black before I did it. You know, like with what needle, where, which parts, and from what angles I'm going. You know, I started from the bottom right towards the left top, and I think that helped me.
Cool. That's what I wanted to focus on anyway. I wanted to focus on stenciling line work, packing black. That's what we're gonna be going over today. And last but not least, lighting, bro. Your lighting was off every tattoo.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the design. All right, so let's take a look at the design. Cam, show them the design. Wow, I know what you guys are thinking. Savant, right? That's why I picked him. Let's break this down a little bit. What do we like about this?
I like pretty much everything. I think it's just like compact, but like the face is super simple, but it has 2-in-1 faces, and I just like the black, like where it's located too.
You know what I like about it? Can't put it backwards. Fire, right? We're looking at tattoos that are really forgiving. This one's great. It cannot go backwards. It can go either way. It has a lot of solid black. Why do we like solid black?
I don't really know.
That's right, because we can practice our line work, right?
Yeah.
We can do our lines. If we fuck them up, we can fill them in. But the one thing I notice with tattoos like this, a major thing, maybe to every tattoo, is getting that stencil correctly. Cam, show them the stencil. No, this is wrong. This is lazy, lazy, lazy. This is such a habit that I see all the time, is you draw this, cool piece that can't be backwards and just print it out as is. No, we don't want that at all. We are going to double line this and make a proper stencil. All right, so what do I mean by the double line? We see these chunky black areas, right, Cam?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have lines on both sides. Even with these areas that look like regular lines, like on the brow, it's gonna be double lined. And we're gonna do this throughout the whole tattoo. One, this is gonna make us very familiar with our piece. It's gonna give us a chance to correct areas, like if we wanna sharpen, up here by the teardrop. Maybe we're kind of like looking at the design and we see an area that could be improved, right? One thing that really helps when you're tattooing is to be able to see what you're tattooing, right? All right, let's try this again. Cam, show them the stencil. Way better, way better. Why is this better?
Because it's actually double lined, and I'll be able to follow the line cleaner.
Yeah, 100%. So this is a really cool design. It's definitely bordering the more traditional aspects. And one thing we notice in traditional aspects or in these bold pieces are thick lines. So if we take a look, so it's always good to know what needles we're gonna be using ahead of time, or at least to have a guess, right? So even if you make this thing palm size, there's really not a needle this thickness. Maybe an 18 round shader or some of these like crazy big ones that I don't really want you using right now. But when we double line it, right? Because if we went in there, even with like an 11, like it's gonna look like this.
Yeah.
And we're just not gonna know where we are. The stencil's gonna be covering it. So when we double line, we can get like a 9 or a 7. And you can actually practice your line work on the outside of these lines. I do prefer a thicker needle, like a 9, or an 11. Why? Because it creates a little bit more of a border. So when you re-enter with your mag, it will be a little easier to keep it cleaner, right? But having that double line there, it just makes a clean outside on both ends of the line. When we use that thick one, we can do this like jaggedness inside the stencil, and we're still inside the line, but it could be all messed up. So I like the double line. You can see these tattoos are really for practicing, right? This will allow you to practice lines on both sides, and then if it's not great, you cover it up with the mag. Cool. All right, so now that we have the stencil, we're gonna run through a little exercise to better prepare ourselves for the tattoo. First things first, let's get the stencil printed out to the actual size you're gonna do it.
Cool, so I have it at the size that I am going to do it at.
Perfect, so like when he comes in, this stencil is essentially ready to go.
Yeah.
This is good because now we can get a realistic view of the actual design. For example, if we made this thing a back piece, we're probably gonna use a lot larger needles. If it was smaller, you get it, right? So something that I encourage you to do is to take one of all the needles you have or think you're gonna be using and just do a little sample area on a piece of fake skin. We have a huge piece right here. You could use a smaller one, you know, this big, but everything you have from, you know, liners, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, mags, you know, same thing, 5, 7, 11, all the way up. And you kind of create yourself a little cheat sheet and you can see, you know, oh, this is a thinner line, this is what this produces, and it helps us kind of get ahead of that.
Yeah.
Now, I could go ahead and do that for you, but it may be different. So I think this is something that you should really create for yourself. I'll give you an example. I used to always get suggestions by another artist to use this liner, that liner. For whatever reason, when he pulled a 9 line, it was always thicker than when I pulled it. You know, so like when he was suggesting 9, I should use 11, vice versa. So I think it's good for you to create this for yourself so you see what your hand produces as far as the needles go. So let's create a little cheat sheet. Okay, so we pulled out 6 needles that we thought could work with this design, and we're gonna narrow it down to 2 or 3. So I kind of created my palette over here. We have a 3 liner, 7 liner, 9, and then our mags are 7, 9, 11, right? Just because it's gonna be fun, we're gonna have Cam do the same thing, and then we're gonna take a look and see which ones best apply to this design. Cam, have at it. Now I know this is fake skin, like it's different than real skin, but we can get kind of an idea of the thickness and variation with the needle setup. All right, rip that 3. Let it fly, Cam. No pressure. Just a line. Cool. What do we got? You gotta get your own paper towel. Yeah. Don't wipe away the letters. It's okay. We'll redraw them. Got a little excited.
Yeah. Now they're for sure gone.
Yeah. Bro, that line looks pretty good. All right, better than mine. My fucking 3 lines. All right, 3's in there. We can already see that your 3 looks different than mine. Yours looks straight. So now 7. 7.
Let's go.
Cool. So your 7 looks a little thicker than mine.
It does.
Yeah, you're unapologetic. You fucking get in there. All right, now 9. If you knock that end cap over, I'm gonna be pissed. Cool. Cool, give me that 9. Now we'll move to the mags. I was just trying to like really small circle it just to kind of show the width of the needle, you know? So I would try to do the same, just to give you an idea of like where the mag could slide in on corners.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, 7 mag. Ripping it upside down. You can, I thought maybe you were about to teach us something new. Like, with fake skin, the trick is to hold it upside down. There you go. All right, let's see what we got. But this is good because you're actually seeing your own utilization of this needle, right?
Yeah.
All right, turn that off before you hurt someone. Clean that up, we'll move to the 9. Now the 11. All right, Kim, so we have some great examples now, some different needles, somewhat in the range that we guessed for this piece. As far as liners go, with the 3 that you use, what do you think would be most appropriate for the piece?
I'm thinking the 9.
Okay, why do you choose a 9?
Just because of the style of the tattoo and really like to cover the most within the line.
Okay, I agree with you because I think it's somewhat of a simple design. I think you can get away with a 9. I also think it creates like a thicker barrier, so it will be easier to shade in with your mag. So I actually would agree with you on the 9. Going into this, did you think it was going to be the 9? Did you think it was going to be a different needle?
No, I originally thought it would be smaller, something like the 7.
Okay.
That was just my assumption at first, yeah.
Cool. So if we have the 9 lining it, which kind of gives us a thicker line, something to keep in mind, which mag would you come in with next?
I would start with the 7 and maybe work my way into the 9.
To me, it seems like such a small difference. Does it feel like a big difference to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. So you think you'd use both?
I think I would use both. Like,
Why not the 11?
I think it's just a little bit too big for me personally. I don't know.
Cool. So 7 and 9 you'd have out?
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a good setup. I think down the road, you could even eliminate one of these as well. I don't see any like crazy points on here. If I did, a 9 liner might be a little difficult to do that. The reason I like the 9, you print out a skinny stencil like this. In my opinion, this line is just smaller than a 9. So when you run your 9 over the stencil, you'll actually be able to see your line, right? Like what you're producing. And I'm trying to like mimic that right now. And I like that. I like that with every tattoo, but especially like when you're learning, because if you use a line that's like too skinny, it can fall shadow to your stencil. And then the stencil just makes the line look good. But it turns out it might be a wonky ass line, right? There'll even be some situations like here where you can come on the inside of the line with your 9, and it really kind of bridges the gap on these. And you know, you have the option to just run a line down the middle, filling in the whole thing, or it would be like a very easy overlap for your mag, right? When running these 9 lines, I would probably choose the inside of the stencil. You know what I mean by that?
If we're talking about this line, then...
So I mean like all this is black, right?
Right.
So if we run the inside, it stays inside the boundary of the stencil.
Yeah.
Meaning towards the black, as opposed to the outside, which would be like this. Yeah. Now we've just extended that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we want to stay the inside. That's how I would do it, especially like with these teeth and the negative points, we're staying on the outside, so it leaves that gap still there, right?
Yeah.
Things like the eyes, especially here, you know, like running on the inside, to make sure there's still that strong gap of negative, so it doesn't like fill in over time.
Right.
So I think 9 would be like a great choice for this, you know, and as we produce our 9 and go around the tattoo, it's just easier to come in with the mag, you know, from the 9 as opposed to like a 3. You know, it's hard to get right up against the 3 there. It's a lot easier, you know what I mean, to come up there. It's a lot easier to do it from the 9 line. A little more forgiveness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
There might be times like, you know, maybe here, some of these lines that start to get closer, where it would be easier to just fill it in with the liner. But I would try to come at it like sideways with the mag and start experimenting, you know, turning it on its side. So we went over this, you've gotten familiarized with the needles. The approach seems to be run the 9 all the way around, come in with the 7, And then maybe work your way in on the 9 and some of these, bigger areas?
In the bigger areas, yeah.
Cool. You feel ready to do this?
I'm ready, I think.
We'll see. All right, let's do it. So here we have it, Cam. Final product. Nice job on number 3. Let's get into it. All right, so if we look at the line work, all right, what do you think your strongest line is?
I think the strongest part in general is going to be the face, but I like the nose.
The nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. It tapers a little bit and then gets thick under the nose. Mm-hmm. You see?
Yeah.
I think your strongest line is the left brow. I think it looks the most consistent, the less shaky all the way through. So I'm liking that. What do you think your weakest line is?
So for me, it would be the right side of the hair.
Yep.
And the teeth.
Yeah. So I think our weak points are here, Cam, and here, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
And then I think our strong points are, yeah, like you said, I love this line here. You like this one. But a lot of the lines in kind of this area are pretty decent. Any idea how you can improve it for next time? Or do you remember what you did in there that you're like, shit?
My idea is to really get comfortable in my positioning first.
Yeah.
And
before you pull the line.
Before I pull the line.
You're right.
And comfortable with the lighting first as well, because I think during the time I was doing the teeth, I was not comfortable or the right side of the hair.
Nice.
You know.
Cool. Let's move on to the final product. All right. So one thing I did notice from our practice session is you didn't double line. So you chose to go with just a single, 9 line?
A single 9, yeah.
Cool. Do you like that choice?
I do. I think it made it a little bit more confusing as to where parts were connected.
Yeah.
I kind of had to double or think about where the line was going at certain points, but overall I liked it. Yeah.
I don't mind it either, except for the left side of the skull. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's a weak frame. We could have double lined that or made it a little thicker, but I don't hate the choice. So we have final product. How was filling it in? What do you end up using?
So I used the 9 curved mag.
Okay.
And then I filled in the smaller parts, like in the point of the teardrops, actually with a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like that?
I liked it, yeah.
Nice.
I felt a lot more comfortable with the mag than I thought I would be.
With your final product, what is your favorite part of the tattoo that you're happy with? You're like, cool, did that well.
I really like the face and the teardrops at the bottom.
Yeah, face looks pretty clean. The black looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
What do you dislike about it? Where could you improve?
I don't like the teeth. And I feel like there were just some design choices that I made during the process of the tattoo that I wish I had done differently, like the top right part, just smoothed out the hair.
Yeah.
Just because that bump was in the design and I kind of followed it carefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I had just kind of smoothed it over.
All right, cool. So in closing, we like the face, right?
Yeah.
You like these teardrops. What we don't like are the teeth and this bump over here.
Yeah, and actually also this line over here.
This one here?
To the left of the face, yeah.
Let's see.
That was another
yeah, that
kind
is a
of
little choppy.
where it's like wavy because of the hair mix, but I could have just done a smooth line.
And that's why we do it like this. The line work first and then fill, because as you know, you can just come over, with the thick line, smooth it out. It was jagged right here. You can come over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then I really think it would add strength to this tattoo, having a thicker border on the left side there.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of get it in there a little bit better and fix up some of those points. But you do have to get comfortable, you know, with your needle to be able to correct it. So I think not a bad go. We see, you know, areas we like, which is important, bro. It's important to take those small victories. I think, you know, doing some pregame like we did before each tattoo really helps.
Yeah, it does.
And we, you know, I want you to make mistakes. This is the area, you know, your first 100 tattoos, if not the rest of your life, make mistakes, you know, just try not to make the same ones over again. So we take the small victories. What do we like about this? I try to do that every tattoo because it's so easy to just beat yourself up right out the door. Okay, I did this well. The face does look good. It's clean. There are some really strong lines in here. You know, if you got 4 strong lines in this one, the goal for next time is 5, right?
Yeah, right.
We're honest with ourselves about the mistakes. Yeah, teeth are trash, bumps weird. We talked about how to fix that, better light, making sure you're more comfortable, maybe getting a second opinion. Hey, John, hey, Joe, should I fix this bump or smooth it out? Now we have a solution and we can bring that to the next tattoo.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
Well, you crushed it. I look forward to more. Hopefully you guys like this video. Maybe this is some stuff you guys do going through your first tattoos. If you have any suggestions, especially on prep work for myself or Cam, or things you do to get comfortable going in to your new tattoos, let us know. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sign us out, Cam.
Peace out, guys.